How's it going, everybody? And welcome to Couples Coverage. I'm your host, Nicholas Moreano. Joined with me, as always, is Stephanie Abonce. How you doing, babe?
I'm good. I feel like I need to do some vocal warm-ups or something.
That's what I was just doing before I hit the record button because I don't know what was going on in here, but I think it's clear. We're good. We're coming in clear. But this is episode 3.
Episode 3.
And it's been awesome doing these so far and going into like we just said, our 3rd episode. And it's been great seeing our channel kind of grow little by little, incrementally. And just to let everybody know before we kind of dive into the topic we have for today, we need everyone to just go check out, our YouTube channel, Couples Coverage. You can find everything we post on there, from YouTube Shorts to the actual podcast. And then also on Spotify, we're on there. So if you'd like to just listen to your podcast, we are on there. And we just made an Instagram, and I think someone just went and followed. Is that right?
Yeah. You made it earlier while I was working, and then I kind of forgot to go follow it. But shout out to Emily. Emily's a realist.
Emily Sivia, yes. Thank you so much. You were one of the few followers that were following as soon as I made it, so appreciate you. But yeah, so we're on all these different social media, and we're just going to continue growing it. But we need you to go and just like, subscribe, comment on, all the things that we put out. So we appreciate everyone who's already done that, a lot of friends and family, but we just need to continuing this, this thing growing. But to get into...
Did you mention we're on TikTok too?
Did I mention the TikTok? You're the big TikToker. I kind of just...
We're on TikTok too.
Yeah, we're on TikTok. Check out Couples Coverage on TikTok. You kind of run that account, and I like stuff.
Who runs it? No one knows.
Well, there's only 2 of us. So. Yes, but definitely go check those out. To kind of get into the topic we have, we're going to actually go to something that we watched on Netflix, Taylor Swift, Miss Americana. Mm-hmm. It was actually really a good documentary. I didn't think it was actually, I know you really wanted to watch it, but I'm glad we did, because you get to see Taylor Swift's work ethic and how she does everything that she does. But in it, there was a part of the documentary where she had reached a peak and had won a big accolade. And then after she had won, she had this comment about, well, it would be great if I had somebody to call. And that was really interesting to hear, because someone as big as Taylor Swift, how does she not have somebody that she can just call right away to share this great monumental achievement?
Yeah.
And when she said that, it kind of registered in my brain, it's that work-life balance, because she works all the time, she reaches the pinnacle, but it didn't look at that moment, it looked like the life part had been kind of left out. And that's where we want to take today's episode, work-life balance.
Yeah, so this episode's not all about Taylor Swift.
No, just to kind of ease us into it.
Yeah, we were really talking about that because that's something that we're still trying to figure out. And I feel like we have a lot to say about this topic, because we're literally in the thick of it, trying to figure it all out, trying to find balance. More specifically you, but yeah, that's the topic for this week.
Yeah, so. Yeah, and you said it, like me for sure, but I know we want to kind of talk about what our, again, work-life balance was like prior to what it is now, because it is a lot different. It's
a lot different. Okay, so basically when we met, we were doing completely different things. Mm-hmm. So when we first met, way back 4 years ago, I guess not way back, but 4 years ago when we first met, you were a writing instructor at a high school. Were you doing something else? You had summers off.
I had summers off. So in the beginning, I was still doing Bears stuff for the blog.
Side, yeah.
So I was doing that.
On your own?
On my own, but it kind of was almost like a job, how much we treat it as. And then I hadn't done grad school right when I met you. Or maybe I was in grad school.
You were in grad school.
So I was juggling 3 different things when we met.
Yeah. And I was actually teaching. I was teaching younger kids. Way different from what I do now. Mm-hmm. But I did that for 3 years? Because I've only been in this new career path for a year. So when you met me, I was still teaching, ended up going back to school, and went into marketing. So completely different field. But looking back, I just feel like that was such a different time, because even though you were saying you were juggling 3 different things, it almost did feel like we still had a lot of flexibility. Well, I don't know. It's kind of hard. It felt like it went through waves. Like there was periods of really busy times, because I remember there were moments where we would still try to hang out even though you had homework to do and you had like long days, or like working all night or whatever, and we still wanted to hang out. And I remember you would pick me up. We would get to like, hang out, watch a movie, and you would knock out.
Yeah, and I mean, it was different because like, okay, work was not your traditional 9, maybe it was like 7 to 4 or something like that. And then if I had grad school, it wasn't every single day. It was maybe like a Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
And homework wasn't too strenuous. Maybe there were like group projects and stuff. And, during football season would be a little bit more workload, busy, I would say. But still, it wasn't like it was now. But like you said, like we still had our weekends. And if we were... The big difference now, too, is like we would watch football games together.
We would watch games together.
Yeah, during the season. And, we'll kind of get to what we do now in a little bit. But so we would still hang out.
I feel like you prepared me. Like that was me. You were like teaching me all like the game, I was learning all this stuff about football. And then you left me. No, I'm kidding. Well, now I can watch them I have to watch them by myself. But I had couple of years of like learning everything.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that was cool to kind of, again, kind of go through like your introduction to football with you, and you get to still hang out. Yeah. But it was just different scheduling, and like you said, we were both kind of in the teaching industry when we first met, and now we're both not, which is crazy to think about. But we had summer, or I had my summer off, and like that was obviously a big opportunity for us to kind of do things and just hang out. But it was different, and we were kind of still managing when there would be difficult times, and when we could actually only see each other maybe on like one day out of the week or something. Like there would be those times, but it definitely was a lot more flexible back then.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like back then we still knew if we wanted to do something, we could work around it. If we really wanted to do something, we could make it work. But I don't know. I guess what we do now, I don't know if we mentioned that. Well, I kind of briefly mentioned. So now I'm in marketing. I'm a creative project manager at a marketing agency. I've been doing this for about a year now. And you obviously are doing Bear stuff full time. I feel like most people know that, but for those of you guys who don't know, maybe you can like talk about what you do. Yeah,
and I mean, now I cover the Chicago Bears full time for, actually I'm wearing the company shirt here, CHGO. So it is it doesn't even matter if it's football season. It's all season long when you cover a football team. But it is something that does take up a lot of time. And as you know, it takes a lot of time, and there are definitely certain points of the calendar year where there's a lot more volume of just things going on and time commitment that needs to be had. But yeah, so I mean, that's what I do now. I've always wanted to do it, and I kind of got that dream job, but it is a big time commitment for sure.
It is a big time commitment. I mean, I love the fact that we both can say like we work creative jobs.
Yeah.
That's amazing, I think. But like I said, we are still trying to figure out the balance. We're still pretty new at this. I feel like this year we've talked about how like quickly time goes by. I just feel like this year, because it's been new careers for both of us, it's gone by so fast, and we're figuring it out.
Yeah, no, we definitely are. And I have a question for people who will watch this, but also for you, babe. Like, obviously it's all about work-life balance, and like you said, we're still trying to navigate, figure it out. But when is it okay for work to take priority over personal things outside of that? Because I mean, maybe for people who are like getting into like something new, a new job, something that they've been wanting, like, when is that okay? Or is it ever okay? Are there certain restrictions that needs to be had? Like, and I think that's still something that, I'm still trying to figure out. And I'm just curious for you, like, are there times where work can take a priority over what's kind of going on in your personal life, or should that always be on one side and, the other side is like personal life, the other side is the work life?
I feel like I guess it depends on what you do, right? With different careers comes different pressures or different responsibilities. So for me, being someone who, I know we've talked about this before, like for me personally, once I'm done with work, I can close my laptop, be done with it. I don't have to think about it anymore. I mean, there are times if it's a stressful day, things are going to linger in my mind and I'm thinking about it. But for the most part, I can shut my laptop and be done for the day. And so for me, it's like hard for me to say like work's going to take priority over something else.
I get that.
Because for me, it doesn't. When I'm working, whatever, I am committed and I know that I can work hard. But after that, like I know what's important to me. There are things that I prioritize more than work. Like family is super important to me. And I guess I just like to keep things like separate.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that.
But I completely understand that there are people who can't do that. And so I know I'm talking from a place of maybe like privilege. I can say that like I can keep things separate.
Yeah, and again, I'm curious. Hope leave a comment below, like if what your work and life situation is, because I'm curious to see how other people navigate it. For me, it is definitely different. Like it's almost it's news, right? If anything happens, sometimes I may like we would be hanging out doing something. And then breaking news happens. There was a good example a couple of days ago, actually. We were on
Still mad? No, I'm kidding.
we were
kidding.
on the couch just watching TV, and the Bears go and sign somebody. It's a big name, and it's like, okay, all my coworkers are messaging, hey, let's go do a podcast right now. It's 9 or 10 o'clock at night, somewhere around there.
And I think we were hanging out like intentionally. We're like, oh, it's been a busy week. Like, let's do something. Let's hang out. And we were doing something, even though it was like maybe watching a movie or watching something together, we were like intentionally doing it.
I had put my phone away. Like I didn't even see the news until I eventually had gotten up. So like that's just one example where I had kind of had to, drop what we were doing, go do this. And it does interrupt like our one night that we had together, because like you said, the whole week I was constantly just going. And that was the one off day, and it ended up being like another work day with everything we had to do. But like you said, maybe there are certain jobs where once it hits that 5 p.m. or the end of the work day, you can shut down, and be done with it for that day. For me, it's a little different. Like I can do it sometimes, but it does depend on what time of the season I'm in, where. What's going on situationally with the team, and if I do shut down, I could miss something.
Yeah, I know, which I feel like I've really had to adjust to, because in the beginning, I will say it was not hard to understand, but it was kind of like an adjustment. I had to get used to it, or I had to, just like come to terms with the fact that something might come up, and I get it. I can't be mad at you for that, because I've seen how hard you've worked to get here. I'm proud of you, and I love the fact that you can say you're working your dream job. So I can't be mad at that.
Yeah, I mean, I thank you for that, but it's still like I feel bad too. Like honestly, like it does take up so much time, and that's why like there are certain days throughout the week where even going into the season, we still got to talk this out. Like these days need to be for us. They need to be for us because. It's a long season. It takes up a lot of time, but I want to make sure that we still have our personal time as we're still going through. It's like you got the new job, I got the new job. This is my second year going into it, so we're still navigating things, and obviously we're gonna work things out. But actually, before we kind of continue our conversation, babe, we gotta tell all the great people who listen to Couples Coverage.
You made me nervous.
I know.
I'm like, what are you going to say right now?
Well, this is serious stuff here. We got to tell you about Owen, which stands for Only What You Need. 100% plant-based, vegan-friendly, has only the ingredients you need, hence the name, Only What You Need. But what's cool about Owen, they have amazing, protein shakes. Also, they have a bunch of different flavors. And actually, Owen earlier today sent us over, 50 pounds of Owen protein shakes. I'm going to tell you, those things were heavy to carry up the stairs and down from the mailroom. I heard you
when you got home from the gym or something, you were carrying it up the stairs.
Yeah, they were heavy. That was the workout after my workout. But what's cool with couples coverage in Owen, actually, you can save 15% off your first purchase if you use the promo code CC15 at checkout. And if you do that, whatever you purchase, and make sure you just get a big order in there. Get all your protein shakes, and then the 15% off will help pay for that, or help with discount. But what you pay using that discount code will actually, a portion of it will come back to us, help us do things with the podcast, and it'll only help us grow. But again, if you're looking for a new protein shake, looking for something that's plant-based, Owen's exactly what you need. And again, use that code CC15 at checkout to save 15% off your entire order.
Thanks, Owen. I'm excited to try the dark chocolate one.
Yeah, that's this one right here. So
I can't remember if I've tried that one or not.
It's been a little bit, but we have a bunch of them now, so
stocked fridge. I'm excited.
Very stocked fridge.
It's always a good day when Owens get delivered.
It definitely is. Where do you want to take this conversation now, babe?
Well, we were kind of still talking about like figuring things out. I guess little things that have come up that have taken, a turn. Maybe we're hanging out and something happens and we have to like put it on pause or whatever. But you know what? I feel like I'm still learning. It doesn't mean it doesn't suck when it happens, but like I said, I can't be mad at it. But I do remember this past Thanksgiving, your company, CHGO, had was it Thanksgiving or Friendsgiving type of thing at the studio. And it was fun because I got to meet everybody. But I do remember there was like a couple of wives there from some of your coworkers. And I remember we were just all talking and stuff. And like the one thing I really wanted to ask them was, how do you guys handle like the work-life balance part of it? And I do remember them telling me that it gets easier. And I feel like I feel like obviously you don't ever want to hear that, like it's going to get easier, because it feels like it's still like far from now. But they were telling me, like it gets easier. Obviously you guys worked really hard to get to where you are. But it doesn't mean it's not hard, but you do get more used to it, I guess. And you learn to work around it as long as there's like communication and there is maybe more like effort in like making sure the days that maybe nothing's going to come up that day, like really putting in the effort.
Being in the moment too with you. I know that's something that I'm still working on, where like if nothing is going on, I just need to be present and just make sure that, even just listen, something as simple as like listening to, if you're telling me something about your day or something that you maybe saw on social media, like just attentively listening, and I'm there and I'm present. Like those are small things I think that, I can do better. And that if you're someone who's also kind of dealing with managing your work and life and trying to figure out stuff, like that's a simple, small adjustment you can make and I can make that I think can go a long way. Would you say? Or
yeah. And honestly, I feel like you've gotten a lot better at that. Like thinking back, I do remember there was times where it's like you don't want to miss anything. You do have to be on your phone. TikTok or Twitter. I didn't like Twitter for a long time.
Now it's I don't even know what it is. Twitter X, whatever.
Oh yeah, whatever it is now. But I do remember like always rolling my eyes.
Yeah, no, I get that.
But I do feel like you've gotten better, especially like this past week. Things are starting to pick up again, and I can tell. I can see the effort. I know you told me you felt like really bad, and you were making an effort to like still make me feel special even when you're busy, which goes a long way. So no, I guess I just want to let you know that like I appreciate that too, because I can see it and it's cute. And you know what? This this week, it's funny because this week I was actually like in my head about a bunch of other stuff. So even though you were busy, I was kind of in my own little like world.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought it was cute because I can see the effort you were putting in. I was like, don't worry about it. Like, I'm honestly good. Like, it's okay. I understand.
Yeah, no. Definitely have to, just make sure you're good. Make sure that I can still do those things even when I'm working. But I think for me, why, and I want to make sure I mention it, like why I still feel like I need to put in so much effort regardless of what time of the year it is, when it is a busy time right now, but it will be busy in the seasons. Like I'm still so new to this. I know I've been doing it for a while, like the podcasting stuff, but this is only going into my second year professionally covering a team. But there's like this for me, like I still need to prove myself to literally everybody. And if I don't work hard, I can't be getting better. Or if I, choose to almost like not do anything, then I see other people who are like, that eats at me. Like I just want to always like compete or want to get better, but that's where I come from too. But I also like I said, I feel bad at times.
It's a struggle. The thing is what I've told you, it's like maybe you're trying to balance everything with work and everything else, but a lot of other people, or like more specifically me, I'm trying to balance things too. And maybe work is just one of them for me, but I'm trying to balance other stuff too. I'm trying to balance like, making sure that I stay healthy, making sure that I keep in touch with my sisters, making sure that I keep up with my friends, making sure that I work out, which like I'm off balance with that right now. So, like we're all dealing with our own things, and maybe for you work is more up there on the scale of like what you really prioritize because in your field you have to.
No, I mean that's actually a really good point. We say work-life balance, and that is what this whole episode is about. But it's work, and life has so many components to it. Like you said, your family, it can be like your health and wellness, your mental, like there's so many different aspects that go into it. And that's a really good point, where it isn't just simply the one word, work and life, but there's a lot of other components that go into it.
I feel like I've always tried to tell you that because I know how much pressure you put on yourself, and obviously you have to for your field, and like I understand that, but I always tell you, or I feel like I've tried to tell you, like you are so much more than your work. And that's why I wanted to do this too, because I'm like, I want people to see like the side that I get to see.
That's true.
You're amazing outside of work too, but I know that's kind of like the one thing you struggle with the most, because like aside from your work, it's like your own brand, like you are a brand, so it's hard.
Yeah, no, it definitely is hard, but we're working on it. I'm sure a lot of people can relate with this, and that's exactly why we wanted to talk about this, and that's kind of a basis of why we wanted to start couples coverage. We're talking about stories, experiences that we obviously are not the only people going through this, but everybody at home and who watches, listens, is going through similar things as well. And that's why we're sharing our story. We again would love to hear what you guys have experienced and how you guys deal with things, because like you said, we're still navigating some of these things and still trying to. And any advice or tips, like love to hear it from you guys too.
For sure. So like this past year, I mean, what would you say has been like, I guess obviously like the balance part, but when I was thinking about it, like what's changed the most this past year? Obviously you've gotten, I feel like we're both busy in different ways. I feel like I have a lot of flexibility, which is great. I feel like we still get to see each other a lot, but things are just picking up again.
Yeah, I think one of the big things too is that, and it doesn't happen every weekend, but when I go to travel, like I'm gone for like a weekend essentially, and again, it's what 8 times out of the calendar season for football, but still like that the weekend would normally be what we're planning things to do, like go somewhere, but I love being able to go and travel and go to different stadiums and do that, but that's
you
a
like
big
leaving
thing.
me?
You know, it's got its perks and its drawbacks. I love that aspect of the job, but I do think about those things. Like when I leave you and Brady, that does suck.
Yeah,
it does. Sucks. It does suck. But
I'm not looking for. So last year, we were already living together, so I was dropping you off a lot at the airport. That was hard. You know what? The first year you did it, it worked out because it was like home game, away game, home game, away game. The whole time forth, it just alternated. And that was nice because I knew every other weekend we were still going to get to do something. Was that last year or was that 2 years ago?
I think that was last year.
That was last year.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's not always going to be like that because the calendar always changes. So there might be, you know, a few weekends in a row where we don't get to do anything. And I don't know what that's like yet.
Yeah, I'm going to be completely honest. I know obviously the schedule's been out, but I couldn't tell you offhand. I know actually the first 2 weeks of this season, I'll be on the road back-to-back games, Tampa Bay and Kansas City. So it is different. It's definitely not like that this year, but you know, that's something that we'll have to like talk about and make sure that we know exactly. Make sure you have things to do or want to do things, and yeah, I'll be gone.
My hope was that I was going to get to go with you, and
we got to go to New Orleans.
We got to go to New Orleans. So you know what? Like, I know there may be a few games that I will get to tag along for. The one thing is, you know what sucks, guys? So he made me a big old Bears fan, and now I have to watch games by myself.
Yes, you do. It's now that you're in for life. Like,
but that's what sucks because like I still want you there with me so I can like get angry with someone.
Yeah, no, I get it. And the Bears love to make people angry. But yeah, hopefully this season that's not the case. It's not as you're not as angry or want to throw something at the TV.
I don't know. We'll see. But I guess what I'm saying that's like even if I were to go with you, I can't. I don't know when the next time I'm gonna have the experience of like watching a game with you. We've only watched one game together. Well, we went to one game together. We've watched a lot of them together, but we've gone to one game together, and that was our first year. That was so long ago.
Wow, yeah.
I'm still mad about that.
Yeah, I think it was Bears Lions that we went to, but that was a very long time ago.
That was a long time ago. But yeah, another thing that's changed. We can't always say yes to things, which kind of sucks. We have friends who are, you know, we have a very social friend group, and it's hard to like have to say no to things that come up or sometimes have to work it around your schedule. Yeah, no, that is true. Especially too, like in the Bears or NFL, like holidays, they actually work, you know, schedule around certain holidays. And last year I worked, I think every major holiday, even on my birthday. So like, and that's tough, obviously, but I think this year it's a little bit more flexible. But like Halloween, we like to celebrate Halloween with our friends, and I may be in Los Angeles that weekend. Like it's just what the job entails. But yeah, that's another component of the things that we kind of still have to adjust with our friend group, who's pretty understanding too. Like they know, but again, another wrinkle in, you know, how to strike that balance in work life. Also, I guess for me, one of the biggest challenges, I guess, is I feel like as anyone would in a long-term relationship, I do sometimes wonder, like, yeah, it's hard now, but I feel like it's only going to get harder. And that part makes me sad a little bit, but again, can be mad. You know how I was talking to you not that long ago about choosing your hard?
Yeah.
So, for example, you could, you know, like working out is hard, but also being like unhealthy or like overweight, that's also hard. Yeah, and it was talking about like choosing your hard. And the fact that this is our hard, I can't complain.
No,
I feel like I'm still, even though I am kind of complaining or even though I'm still kind of like navigating through it, I still feel so grateful that this is the stuff that we have to worry about.
Yeah, because it could be, it could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
But there are still aspects of it that are difficult, but it is a good point. You have to find not what you want to fight for in a sense, but like there are situations that can be a little bit more, strenuous than kind of figuring out what the schedule looks like that can work for both of us.
Having a couple weekends apart.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, the situation could be worse, but I think I would say we're doing better at it as we're kind of still navigating and figuring out our way and our balance with everything. But I think it comes with time. Like we're still so new.
Yeah.
And I always hear, or no, not always hear, but I feel like couples, the longer they're together, like eventually like, oh yeah, just go have your guys night, or, go have your girls night. Maybe it's like, for couples that have been married and.
That's what I told you, because I know some people that I've talked to, it's like, oh, after a while, you're just like, oh, whatever. He's going to be gone this weekend.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I guess I don't want to ever feel like that. Like we're like besties over here. I don't like when you're gone.
That's true.
But I don't know. But maybe one day I will be like, okay, whatever.
I think everyone, at times just, they need. Like even in a relationship, you still need your alone time.
Yeah.
Right.
And when you're away, I still will always like make my own plans and stuff. So unless Brady's here, then I have Brady and we're cool.
Yeah. No doubt. But yeah, again, it all falls into, finding that balance that works for you, that makes that works around your schedule, that just helps you be the best version of you. And we're all striving to find what exactly that is and how to fit that into our schedules and to make it second nature, really. So, I mean, I think that's just common for a lot of people right now.
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard, but I don't know. We're, like I said, I feel like we're doing better. Who knows? Who knows what it'll look like, because it's going to be a constant adjustment.
Yeah.
Things are going to look different every year.
Mm-hmm.
Things are only going to get busier.
Yeah. I mean, definitely can be. And
I mean, just think about it. Like as life goes on,
like
for things are just going to get busier.
No doubt. I mean,
we already have to plan like weeks in advance for something.
I had to plan my fantasy football draft around a bunch of different stuff, which back in the day, it's like, yeah, let's just come on over next weekend. No, you have to ask everybody, does this day work? And, what do I have to do the next day? It's simple things. And that's adults, right? You're adulting. So
can we talk about this though for a second? You were organizing it all today. I can't even look at you. What? You were organizing it all today. And ladies, if you've heard your man or your boyfriend, whatever, like trying to organize or commission the football league, I swear this sounds like the most official thing in the world. The email that you sent out today, I'm like, there's no way this needs to be this serious.
Time out. Now I got to see the message that I sent our good friend Brett, who sent the cryptic message. If you listen to this couples coverage,
hi Brett.
Podcast.
Hi Lauren. I think Lauren might be watching too.
Oh, nice. Let's see. I said our guy Brett. He asked me a question, and then I said that I would. Oh man. Here we go. We should discuss switching. He said we should discuss switching something, and I said I shall discuss this matter with the other league managers in New York. Thank you for your concern. That was obviously playing. That was me being commissioner of our league, just like yes. Let me take this up to a higher priority and see what we can do here. But yeah, that's just a commission talk.
This
basically.
is like role playing. Like I'm a commissioner.
Yeah, no,
I'm a
it
manager,
is, and I'm not the very best commissioner, but we're
That
gonna
is
be
so
better
funny.
this year for sure.
I feel like that kind of wraps it up.
Yeah.
Again, we're still learning.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone's going through this, give us your advice, your tips.
Yeah, and just kind of what are you trying to? What is it that you're balancing, or how do you go about it? Are there techniques that you use, or things that you do throughout the week to make sure that you're hitting on the life aspect as you're still balancing out work or whatever else it may be? Because again, it is not just work and life. There's a lot of different factors that go into it. But like you said, that's going to wrap it up for episode number 3, which is exciting. Everybody, thank you for tuning in for not only this episode, for hopefully watching the previous two. And if you haven't, you can go watch those at any time. It's not a timely thing. You can go watch those podcasts, listen to them on Spotify. There's no date of expiration on those things. So make sure you go check those out. But give us a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Couples Coverage. Make sure you download the podcast on Spotify if that's your medium that you like to use. We are on Instagram. We're going to build that up. We are on TikTok. We're going to continue to post stuff on there. So make sure if those are the social media outlets that you use, go check them out. It's going to help us grow. So again, we appreciate everybody who's tuned in, who's left a comment, who's subscribed.
Yes. Guys, the comments, I think that like always solidifies the fact that people listen to it. I'm like, someone left a comment. I get so excited.
No, so do I. We love seeing the comments, and we'll interact with every single one that we get. Again, it lets us know that you're tuning in, you're listening to the content. My guy Herb Howard, who covers the Bears, listens to Couples Coverage, knows that we love donuts.
Hi,
we love you, Herb. Appreciate you for listening, man.
I actually met Herb at that Thanksgiving party.
The Friendsgiving. So we appreciate everyone who listens in. But that's going to do it. We're going to wrap up episode 3 right here. And make sure, tune in next week for the next episode of Couples Coverage. Adios.
Bye. Good job, baby.